A jobless veteran trying to save his home in post-World War II Los Angeles falls into the role of private detective when he's offered good money to locate a missing woman in Walter Mosley's Devil in a Blue Dress, which was adapted into the feature film of the same name by director Carl Franklin in 1995, starring Denzel Washington, Jennifer Beals, and Don Cheadle. Welcome to Crime Novels to Film. I'm Jeffrey A. Cooper. Crime Novels to Film is the show that takes on the book version versus the movie version debate to see which one did it better. Crime Novels to Film highlights a different crime novel and its live-action adaptation in each episode, and at the end, I'll tell you which one I think did it better. If you like what you see, please hit the thumbs up on this video and subscribe to this channel. I've got a lot of great books and movies to cover, and I want to hear what you have to say about them. So let me know what you think in the comments. Devil in a Blue Dress, written by Walter Mosley, was first published by W. W. Norton in 1990. It was the novel that introduced Mosley's most celebrated character, Ezekiel Easy Rawlins, in the first of what is presently 15 Easy Rawlins mysteries. This hard-boiled noir is the perfect launching point for a series, and is reminiscent of some of Mosley's biggest literary heroes, including crime fiction icons like Dashiell Hammett and Raymond Chandler. But while Easy Rawlins shares the decency, honesty, and the same sense of justice that characters like Sam Spade and Philip Marlowe have, at the same time, he's forced to confront the racial and social inequalities of African Americans in post-World War II America. Devil in a Blue Dress is a terrific book. It has everything I like in a good crime novel. It's a fast-paced, entertaining, hard-boiled detective story with sex, violence, murder, blackmail, and an engaging hero's pursuit of justice, all wrapped up in some deeply atmospheric writing that puts you smack in the middle of vibrant Los Angeles communities like Watts in 1948. Reading this book, I can almost hear Billie Holiday singing in the clubs on Central Avenue. Walter Mosley paints a vivid picture. Ezekiel Easy Rawlins is a black World War II veteran originally from Houston, who relocated to Los Angeles after the war and bought a house. Fired from a defense plant job 2 days prior, Easy needs work to pay his mortgage to avoid losing his home. He's sitting in his friend Joppy's bar when he's introduced to a man named DeWitt Albright, who offers Easy work finding a white woman named Daphne Monet who is known to frequent black nightclubs. Easy hesitates. "I don't know, Mr. Albright. I mean, how do I know what I'm getting mixed up in? What are you—" He raised a powerful finger to his lips, then he said, "Easy, walk out your door in the morning and you're mixed up in something. The only thing you can really worry about is if you get mixed up to the top or not." Easy takes Albright's money and goes to a club where Daphne was seen. He meets up with Dupree and Coretta, who are friends of his from Houston. As they drink, Coretta tells Easy that she knows Daphne. Easy helps Coretta take a drunk Dupree home and ends up sleeping with her, leaving just before dawn after learning that Daphne is involved with a gangster named Frank Green. Soon after he leaves Coretta's house, Easy is arrested. He's interrogated by LAPD, who tell Easy that Coretta is dead and he's a suspect in her murder. With no evidence against him, Easy is released from jail. He's approached by Matthew Taryn, a former candidate for LA mayor who has questionable relationships with young boys. Taryn asks about Daphne, but Easy doesn't tell him anything. Returning home, Easy gets a call from Daphne Monet. Frank Green is missing, and Daphne needs Easy's help to find him. She asks Easy for a ride to the house of a man named Richard McGee, because Richard might know where to find Frank. They arrive and find Richard with a knife sticking out of his chest. Daphne freaks out and takes off in another car. She tells Easy to forget all about this. Easy returns home, where he finds Albright waiting for him. Albright wants to know where Daphne is, and gives Easy 3 days to find Frank Green. Unnerved by his situation, Easy calls home to Houston looking for his friend Raymond Alexander. Known as Mouse for his short stature, Raymond is a dangerous, amoral man. He's also the kind of guy you want on your side if you find yourself in big trouble. Easy's in big trouble, so he invites Mouse to come to LA. Easy meets Todd Carter, the white man who hired Albright and someone who deeply loves Daphne. Carter reveals that Daphne stole $30,000 from him, money that Albright is after, but Carter doesn't care about the money. He only wants Daphne. Easy, who is unsuccessful in finding Frank Green, is surprised when Frank shows up at his house. Frank is ready to kill Easy before Easy's friend Mouse arrives from Houston and saves his life. Mouse goes to kill Frank, but Easy intercedes, allowing Frank time to escape. Mouse wants to help him find Daphne, but Easy doesn't want Mouse's particular kind of help and tells him why. Mouse agrees to help on Easy's terms, but knowing Mouse, Easy doesn't reveal how much money Daphne actually stole. Easy gets more heat from the LAPD, who confront him about Richard McGee's death, but Easy's fingerprints clear him of any crime. Easy and Mouse go to Dupree's house and get drunk. Mouse gets dangerous, passes out, and Easy takes his gun away. Daphne calls Easy and says that they need to meet alone. Easy goes to meet Daphne and hides out with her at a motel. He tells her that Carter wants her back and Albright wants the $30,000, but Daphne needs to talk to Frank. She reveals that Joppy was the one who killed Coretta and offers Easy $2,000 to take her to Frank. They go out, and when they return, they're confronted by Albright, who knocks Easy out. Easy wakes up to find Daphne gone, along with Albright and Joppy, who have taken her. He tracks them to Albright's house in the Malibu Hills, where Albright threatens Daphne's life over the money. Easy is discovered, then gets into a gunfight with Albright and Joppy. Mouse intercedes, Albright and Joppy are killed, and they save Daphne's life. Mouse splits the money with Daphne and Easy, and reveals to Easy that he was the one who killed Frank. Mouse decides to give his money to his wife in the hopes that she'll take him back, and he returns to Houston. Easy meets up with Todd Carter and tells him that Daphne is gone, but that she loved him. Easy threatens to reveal Carter's role unless Carter backs up his alibi so that the police leave him alone. They go to court, where the murders of Coretta, Frank Green, Richard McGee, Matthew Tarrant, and DeWitt Albright are all explained. Easy gets out of trouble with Carter's help, but is threatened by Miller, the LAPD cop who still will be after him. Easy takes his share of the money, saves his house, and invests in real estate. He's thinking about the future, including a new line of work. Easy Rawlins is getting into private investigations. The first time I read Devil in a Blue Dress, I tore through it in a couple of hours. It's a fast, entertaining read, with well-written, memorable characters, and had an engaging plot that kept my interest to the end. Easy Rawlins offers a fresh, interesting perspective from the other fictional detectives of the era, those tough guys who like to smoke cigarettes and do a lot of leaning on desks. In particular, I like the moments where Easy has discussions with his very active inner voice. This inner voice saved Easy's life in the war, and Easy relies on this objective perspective as his voice of reason. As a reader, it offers an interesting window into Easy's thinking in a way that other characters don't always give you. You gotta stand up, man. Letting these people step on you ain't right. Messing with French white girls who ain't French, working for a white man, kill his own kind if they don't smell right. You gotta find out what happened and set it straight. But what can I do with the police or Mr. Albright or even that girl? Bide your time, Easy. Don't do nothing that you don't have to do. Just bide your time and take advantage whenever you can. The supporting characters in Devil in a Blue Dress were just as memorable. My favorite was Raymond Alexander, known as Mouse, Easy's loose cannon friend from Houston. Mouse bursts into the story with fire and energy. Mouse is tiny in stature, but everyone is afraid of his wild unpredictability. By the end, after Daphne Monet is revealed to be Ruby Hanks, Mouse has a surprising, astute take of the situation. "You just like Ruby," Mouse said. "What you say?" "She wanna be white. All them years people be telling her how she light-skinned and beautiful, but all the time she knows that she can't have what white people have. So she pretend and then she lose it all. She can love a white man, but all he can love is the white girl he thinks she is." I love the rich atmosphere of this book. Walter Mosley not only takes you inside these smoky, boozy South Los Angeles jazz clubs of the late 1940s with vivid, precise detail, he introduces the people that you see there. How can you not get a clear picture when you read a passage like this? Alfonso Jenkins was there in his black silk shirt and his foot-high pompadour hairdo. Giacomo Johannes was there too. He was wearing a woolly brown suit and bright blue shoes. Skinny Rita Cook was there with 5 men hanging around her table. I never did understand how an ugly, skinny woman like that attracted so many men. Since the publication of Devil in a Blue Dress, Walter Mosley has been a very busy man. Since 1995, he's published close to 50 books. He's written graphic novels, he's written for television and for the theater. As mentioned earlier, a total of 15 Easy Rawlins mysteries have been published to date. His other series include the 3-part Fearless Jones mysteries, 3 books in the Socrates Fortlaw series, 6 Leonid McGill mysteries, and 3 volumes of Crosstown to Oblivion. He's won multiple awards and honors in his career, including being named Grand Master by the Mystery Writers of America, the Edgar Award for Best Novel for Down the River Unto the Sea, a National Book Foundation Medal for Distinguished Contribution to American Letters, as well as multiple NAACP Image Awards, and inclusion into the New York Writers Hall of Fame. You can find more information on his website, waltermosley.com. There's a link in the comments. You'd think with all those distinguished literary honors, Hollywood would be climbing all over themselves to produce Mosley's books. Yeah, not so much. There's a few reasons why more of Walter Mosley's work hasn't been adapted to film, and most of them have to do with money. It certainly wasn't because someone couldn't make a great adaptation of his work. Jonathan Demme's company produced the film version of Devil in a Blue Dress for Demme to direct, but he deferred the job to writer-director Carl Franklin after seeing Franklin's excellent 1992 crime thriller One False Move, written by and starring Billy Bob Thornton. Other notable names involved in the production of the film included cinematographer Tak Fujimoto, composer Elmer Bernstein, costume designer Sharon Davis, and production designer Gary Fruitkoff. Production on the film began in March 1994. Filming took place over 3 months in and around iconic Southern California filming locations like Griffith Park, the now since demolished Ambassador Hotel, Griffith Observatory, Malibu, and downtown Los Angeles. The 1 hour and 42-minute film was released in the United States on September 29, 1995, to overwhelmingly positive reviews. Reviewers praised the period drama as a well-directed detective story, with its rich atmosphere and interesting well-cast characters. The film currently holds a 92% fresh rating on RottenTomatoes.com, along with a solid, if slightly unspectacular, 70% audience rating and over 10,000 reviews. Denzel Washington plays Easy as a decent, honest, independent, and hardworking man. It's not difficult to say that he was great in this role, but in my opinion, it's pretty hard to find anything Denzel is bad in. I like that he didn't play it like the stereotypical detective of the time, with all that tough guy talk and shoot first, ask questions later logic. My wife found the scenes where Denzel acted in a white t-shirt particularly effective for some reason, asking several times to pause and rewind a scene so she didn't miss any important parts of his performance. My wife sure does love good acting. Casting director Victoria Thomas did amazing work in this movie. Tom Sizemore's DeWitt Albright is all sleazy menace. Jennifer Beals gives the best performance of her career in the title role, playing the seductive Daphne Monet, and the great character actor Maury Chaykin is the embodiment of the slimy, corrupt politician Matthew Terrell. Lisa Nicole Carson plays the sexy, seductive Coretta James, and she really hits all of her spots. Gernard Burks, David Fontano, and Terry Kinney were also terrific in key roles. But the real find of this movie was Don Cheadle, in a breakthrough performance as Mouse. Cheadle is dangerous, charming, and a very funny menace who infuses energy into every scene he's in. He has an awesome line in the film at the end that sums up his entire character. "If you didn't want him dead, you shouldn't have left him with me." Cheadle's performance was widely recognized, winning the Best Supporting Actor award from both the Los Angeles Film Critics Association and the National Society of Film Critics, among many others. If you've seen it, what did you think about Don Cheadle's performance? Let me know in the comments. Carl Franklin didn't change very much when it came to adapting the book to film. For example, Albright works for Carter in the book. In the movie, Albright works for Terrell. There's the subplot of the LA mayor's race and a series of incriminating photographs. In the book, Todd Carter is the president of Line Investments, and there's no mention of his political ambitions. In the movie, Todd Carter is in a race for mayor against Matthew Terrell. During the campaign, Terrell learns about Daphne's Creole heritage, and the potential scandal of their romantic involvement forces Carter to abandon the campaign. Daphne tried to fix this, buying a series of incriminating photos from Richard McGee in order to blackmail Terrell into silence. On the hunt for Daphne in these pictures, Albright murders Richard McGee. After Coretta threatened to sell the pictures to Terrell, Daphne sent Joppy to intimidate her, but he killed Coretta. The photos are eventually returned by Easy to Todd Carter, fueling his return to the mayor's race and the ammunition he needs to have Terrell drop out. The changes make perfect sense, even if they weren't exactly how they appeared in the book. It's difficult to adapt 100% of a novel for many reasons, but Carl Franklin did it so that his changes didn't take anything away from Walter Mosley's story. If you ask me, that's how you adapt a novel successfully. This week, I'm going with the book. While I found the film to be an equal success, it had the firm foundation of a great piece of work. Like the book, the film ends with Easy telling his friend Odell about his plan to start private investigating work, planting the seed for a sequel that would have adapted more Easy Rawlins mysteries for the big screen. But Devil in a Blue Dress returned just over $16 million on a $27 million production budget. Walter Mosley published 14 more Easy Rawlins mysteries. If we're lucky, someday we'll see those adaptations too. In 2021, Amblin Television announced that they were developing a series based on the Easy Rawlins novels. Stomp the Yard and The Losers director Sylvain White is attached to executive produce the series and is also set to direct the pilot. Your winner this week? The book. What do you think? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? What did I miss? Let me know in the comments. The print version of Devil in a Blue Dress is easily found through brick and mortar, independent, and online booksellers. It's also available at your local public library, so please support your local library. Support them wherever you are and however you can, because they certainly need your support these days. Devil in a Blue Dress is also available in digital and in the Audible audiobook version narrated by Michael Boatman. Blu-ray and DVD versions are both available for a reasonable price wherever you buy your hard copies. It's currently available to rent or buy on Amazon Prime Video and iTunes, and it currently streams on Paramount+. I'll have links to all of these in the description. Don't forget, don't just see the movie, read the book. And don't just read the book, see the movie. Thanks for hanging out with me, gang. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you watching. I'll be back on the next edition of Crime Novels to Film.